Okay, so you got a little bit of taste of Q4. How was Q4 for you?
Q4 was awesome.
All right. So you just started.
Q4 spoiled me.
All right, everybody, we're down here with Chris. This is Patriot Picker, right, Chris?
Yes.
And if y'all remember, let me shake your hand.
Yep.
It's Chris and Shannon.
Yep.
Shannon's over here. And if you remember a video, do you remember what that video was titled where you saw me? I'm trying to think of what it was. I'll have to put it in a link in this video. But Chris met me by chance out there at the 29 yard sale, the 100-mile yard sale, Route 29. And so we've had a bit of a relationship texting back and forth. And if you saw the video where I bought that 70s clothing lot on the Commonwealth Picker channel, or on the Commonwealth Flipper channel, and we bought some other clothing, I thought this would be a great opportunity to help somebody who's been reselling for a short time. Chris, how long have you been reselling?
Since the end of September.
End of September. So I'm not a math teacher. So what is that, 5 months? 5 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a little bit of taste of Q4. How was Q4 for you?
Q4 was awesome.
All right. So you just started.
Q4 spoiled me.
And that's something that we wanted to talk about a little bit. For new resellers out there, you know, what are some bumps in the road? You started, you know, you might think that that's a bad time to start selling because you're spoiled, like you said. But you know what? If you would have started selling in a time where you're not selling anything, you probably wouldn't have continued at all. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't know. How many items on average were you selling in say October, November?
Yeah, so like around October, November, it was probably per day, it was maybe 1 or 2, and then we would hit sometimes 5 or 6.
Okay. All right. And so now it's slowed down a little bit?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
January was pretty slow. And then now that February is starting today, I haven't said anything to you yet about it, but February today, 6 items already went out.
Okay, so if you remember, we talked to you the other day. Yeah. I don't know if you remember. I said part of it isn't necessarily December to January. Part of it is turning the month over, and people get paid and they get a paycheck.
Right.
And so sometimes that makes a big deal as well. And sometimes you sell your bigger items earlier in the month because people have money. But before we get into this, if you don't mind, give us a little tour. Well, obviously, we see some of the items. I've been watching your show. What are the kind of things that sold well for you in Q4?
So, as you can see from my organization here.
Which is really good, I have to tell you.
So, I kind of followed some of the guys.
Is he always like this?
Online. But puzzles and board games during Q4 were hot items.
Okay.
Because I was new and I was starting out, I was trying to find what was really working for me. Mm-hmm. And what I found was puzzles. I have all the puzzles here, and board games are here. And then over here you see laying medical scrub tops for women were really hot items.
I sold one the other day.
Yeah. So.
And you're sourcing these at the Goodwill?
Yes.
Okay. So you're paying $3.99 for that then?
I am.
Okay. And so what have you been getting, about $15 to $20 or $14, $12 plus shipping, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Okay. And it just depends on the right one. So.
Yeah, and I try to stick with Disney, good condition items, or themed holidays, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Look at this. I'm sorry, I got to get personal here real quick. You just got to get this. This is great stuff right here. Wow. I'll let it speak for itself.
Yeah. So.
And of course, over here.
Yeah.
You got to see the old Fleet Enaman right there. All right. And I don't know, I shouldn't ever help this guy out because now the Sparky bobblehead market's going to dry up for me, I think.
But anyway, home good items did really well. Trying to stick with things that people use in their kitchen. That did really well. The things that haven't been doing as well for us have been, believe it or not, I don't do a good job in fragrance or women's perfume, cologne, men's cologne.
Yep.
Tried to do that and didn't have much success.
No. Where were you getting it? At the Goodwill?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
All right.
We weren't able to source much, as you said
It's tough.
earlier.
It's tough. Yeah,
Because
I
of
don't
this
find
time of
very,
year.
you know, hardly anything out there. But you'll get out there in the yard sale season, and what you'll find is you'll be like, I probably regret buying as much as I did from the Goodwill, because the Goodwill, when I go in it, I can find some every single time I go in the Goodwill.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when me and my wife go in there, sometimes we'll come out with, you know, a tub like this of clothing. And it's like an albatross around your neck, but it's so hard because some of it's so good. The better you get at it, you can be a little bit more selective, and I think when you're gonna just get addicted to garage sales because you like the sourcing, right?
Yep. Sourcing is my favorite part, but
I have not. This is hard for people to believe because I do a lot of Goodwill. My wife loves going in there. I do a lot of clothing, and we buy a lot of it at the Goodwill. I haven't been into a Goodwill. I've been in twice, but for totally separate reasons. I had to pick up a frame for something you bought me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're going to frame that Inaman scrub top, and we're going to put it in the cave. So
okay, cool.
For those of you out there who saw that, this is the man who gave it to me, and you'll see it in that eBay cave. And so I had to go in there and find one of those, and a couple other things I went in to get for the antique booth, but I haven't been in, and I have to force myself not to go in, because I like sourcing too.
Oh, yeah.
But I love your setup here. It's a really nice setup. You got books. Are you selling these books back over here
yes,
too?
so that first section.
I noticed there's some reorganization because I saw these books behind you, I thought, the other day. Or am I wrong?
Well,
Where you just
I
faced
moved
that
some
direction?
and then redid, I had to redo, make some more room.
All right.
This shelf here is 3/4 of this is what we're selling. This over here is personal.
It's personal.
So
okay. All right.
about from here up is.
All right. I think what you're going to do, now I could be wrong, and you come talk to me in August, okay? What you're going to do is in August you're going to be bringing in stuff from garage sales, and you're going to say, I wish I had more space.
We had that conversation already, yes, we did.
So you're going to, and obviously, you know, you don't want to get rid of inventory. That will sell because everything I see over there will sell. Like, for instance, you know, I picked these up. I think you probably saw me pick them up.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's going to sell, but it's going to be long tail, and it's going to sell mostly next year.
Yeah.
And even early on, it might be 2 years from now because those were all over the country really cheap.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, there's 8 million people out there with them. But they will sell. It just takes time. You do have a great setup down here, though. I mean, I'm impressed, and I wish I'm a little jealous, to be honest with you. It's so well lit. I live in a cave, man. I live in a cave. But at any rate, we came over for the purpose. I bought these from Sonny. I'm going to call it the Sonny Shares sale because he was sharing his clothing with me, and a lot of it was 70s clothing. And I was really intrigued with the 70s clothing because I haven't sold a lot of, well, I've sold tons of vintage clothing, but I haven't sold that kind of vintage clothing before. And he had this too, and I kind of wanted to make the other deal with him, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to buy all this, and there's this tub here. We've got these tubs over here, and I haven't even gone through them. This is a Lakers jersey right there. So there's some pretty good stuff in here. And I'll tell you what I paid for it. I paid $225 for it. And it's for a lot of stuff. And it's not necessarily what I need to be doing right now. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make this other deal with Sonny. I'm going to buy this off of him, and I'm going to find a reseller who can consign it. And I thought Chris would be a great opportunity to get into clothing because you're always in the Goodwill. How often do you go to Goodwill?
Oh, I probably visit at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay, it's hard to, I hear you.
And
So
probably the majority of the stores.
if you're going to go in there, when you go in there, do you look at, you said something about men's jackets and stuff, so do you go through, just that rack?
Yeah, I try to hit where the men's jackets are, like for this time of year because it's winter. Hoodies, sporting type clothing.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, I hit the women's scrubs.
Okay. So I hope that when it's all said and done, hey, look at that. I didn't even notice. You see what brand this is?
Yep.
That's a Lacoste brand. So that's going to be an okay pair of jeans right there for sure. And it looks like it's in really good condition. Now, there may be stuff in here that's not really good. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm certain there is. And, feel free to, what do we got here? See, this is a generic one, it looks like. Something, I don't know what the heck that is. But, there'll be some things in here that aren't amazing. And I want you to feel free to set it to the side, do whatever. But we're going to consign this. And I don't really care what comes back to me in the end. I want y'all to enjoy it, and you got no money into it. Find what is going to sell. List the good stuff first. Get some money flow coming in, and learn clothing, and learn really, just as importantly, learning what to buy is learning what not to buy. And I think it's better to learn what not to buy when you don't have any skin in the game. Right. So here you go. I bet you if I were to list this on my store and me and Blue Ridge Mama did it, we'd make several $100s profit fairly quickly, and then we would get a little bit of money coming in for a long, long time. Okay. So hopefully you guys will do that, and hopefully it's a good process for you, but don't be concerned with me at all. Don't be concerned that you're getting rid of any of it. Do whatever you think works best. Is that what is this? I don't know. It looks like some kind of military thing. Mission 6. So I haven't dug through it. I'm tempted to dig through it right now because that's what I do, but I'd be here all night, so I'm not going to do that. So keep us updated. Will you promise me one thing?
Yes.
If you watch my show when I keep track of a sale,
right?
Okay. Would you name the sale for me, and then every time you sell a piece, will you write it down and give me an update?
Sure, no problem.
And you keep track. Now listen, when we talk about like a 50-50 split on this thing, I'm talking like count every cost. Count your ink cost and your tape cost and whatever. We're just talking about the profit off of it in general, and you don't have to go down to the detail. You can round to your favor, okay? And just let me know how it goes, and show people the process on your show, and y'all go over, if you're watching this right now, Patriot Picker, and I'll put a link below, and you go over and subscribe to his channel, and you can watch him over there and see how the sale's going. What do you think?
Sure.
All right. So, yeah, if you take these, put them in a poly bag, scrunch them up and put them in your padded flat rates. You can actually, if you really are cheap, you can get a lot of pairs of jeans in a regular flat rate envelope, and you don't even have to put them in padded, but I don't know how much time you want to save 30 cents is the question. I think that you're going to need to use those because a lot of these will go over 16 ounces, and you're going to have to save costs. So if you were to list this at like 2 pounds, calculated shipping, you've just eliminated half of your market because nobody in California is going to pay $15 to get this thing shipped to them, or even if you're using a regional A box or something. So I think that that'll be a huge benefit of selling the clothing, as well as learning the tricks of selling the clothing and how to get things in the right packaging and to make your market out there a little bit broader. Another thing that I do, and a lot of people don't do, is I'll do free shipping. If I know what the shipping cost is going to be, I'll build it in. Free shipping is going to put your item a little bit higher up, although it's not as important as it used to be. So unless you're sure and comfortable with it, then I wouldn't deal with it. Where was that? You found a shirt. Here it is.
Yep.
So we've already found a few good ones. We haven't dug through too much, but we got brand new Patagonia here. So there's definitely some decent stuff in here. I don't think it's going to be full of this stuff. If it was, I wouldn't have given it to you.
Yeah.
You were talking about titles earlier.
Right.
And so would you mind telling the viewers this story again? I think since I'm going to title this something about new resellers, and I think we'll have a lot of new resellers. So one of the struggles that Chris had was he was finding other people's items selling for more money than he had his listed for. So tell us about it.
So we had a Pro Bass or Bass Monopoly, which was a collector's edition of that because the pieces are pewter.
Yep.
Anyway, I listed it for what I thought comps were going for, a decent price. Then when I went to look it up, other folks just in January were selling theirs at a lot more money and a lot more money shipping as well. So I went in and looked and noticed that my title was weak because I had only included maybe 4 or 5 words, and they had used up all their letters they could and built a really classy title. So,
well, let me tell you something, and you may not have heard this, but the order of words is important as well.
Okay.
What words are coming first?
Okay.
Okay. So, if you put Monopoly and Bass Pro Shop or whatever it is at the end of your listing, and you're putting things like, new items, inbox, and whatever, you want to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. If you were looking for that item, what would you type in first? Okay. And that's going to help your item come to the top. If your keywords are matching their keywords, obviously that needs to happen, but the first words and the order of the words is also important. So it's little things like that you'll do. You know, I use almost all 80 spaces on almost all of my listings, unless it's like just a complete waste of time. Using vintage for, you know, I don't know if you ever put vintage in a title.
Yes, and I also noticed, and I was going to ask you, is it important to put the word vintage or just VTG?
I'd put VTG because I'm saving letters. I'm saving spaces to put other things. I think it'll be key with some of these items right here that aren't branded, to be able to put different words in there that people might search for. I'm trying to think, like, for instance, somebody might be, if you've got extra words, then put short sleeve in something like this. But short sleeve isn't nearly as important as some other words. You're going to put those in the item descriptions. So those are the kind of tricks that you learn over time, and I think you'll benefit from it. I'm just looking around to get some examples here, but
some people put vintage and then some people put rare.
So
is there a difference really?
Well, yes, there is. You know, you could put things out there that, I mean, shoot, there are people that put rare on all kinds of stuff. Rare is a word that's very, very rarely used as far as a search title goes. However, somebody might just be looking for like rare horror movies, as opposed to typing in a particular horror movie that they're looking for. They wouldn't type in the one they're looking for and then put rare. They would just type in rare horror movies and just see what comes up, because they might be a collector and they might be looking for something new. So in that case, it might help them. Maybe it's a t-shirt collector. And so they might want to type in, you know, rare single stitch t-shirt, and they're just scrolling through to find something that interests them. If they're looking for a particular t-shirt, nobody would ever type that in. So if you have the space and it's legitimate, I mean, don't type in, hey, this is a rare Monopoly game, you know, and it's not. It's not going to do you any good. You know, those kind of things will definitely help. So at any rate, what are the items you've been selling lately in January here?
Yeah, so it was the puzzles.
Okay.
We got a couple of puzzles that are going out, and then these were listed about probably 2 months ago, and they're just Irish coasters. And when I looked these up, they were kind of old. So
rare.
It's rare. Yeah, no, vintage. It was rare. I don't know if I put that on the listing, but you know, it's stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I had a couple of model trains that went out.
Okay.
That I picked up.
All right, look at this back here.
Yep.
You know, I just sold that Rich Mullins record
I
right
saw
there.
That. Yeah.
I just sold that. Records, have you dug through the record piles at Goodwill?
My records are right here. I have a few, but they're on there, but they haven't been doing anything lately. But I did during quarter four.
Q4 sold some records. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. It's been fun visiting with you, and I'm gonna turn this thing off, and I'm gonna let some new resellers out there kind of get a look at it. Maybe they can go check out your channel and they can share in your journey of being a new reseller.
That'd be great.
All right. You want to say goodbye? All right.
Goodbye.